If you visit Japan, you need to visit a ryokan. I love a good ryokan, so when I visited the Kanagawa region near Hakone, I really wanted to try a really high quality top one and I really wanted to splurge. So I decided to go to Sanyo-So. Established in 1929, it was originally a villa made for Hisaya Iwasaki, the eldest son of Yataro Iwasaki, who started Mitsubishi, known for their cars, aircons, and other electronic products. Although now it's a commercialized ryokan, it retains the traditional architecture and design you expect from a more traditional Japanese building. In this video, we'll go over our experience, a room tour, amenities, and what you can expect from a ryokan, and of course my final thoughts. So let's start off with the initial experience. Arriving at the ryokan is an experience in itself. The buildings look gorgeous as you arrive, and you already feel like you're being swept back into the past. The only thing to note here, it's a bit out of the way, so there isn't really anything that's walking distance nearby, so highly recommend a car or to be part of a tour group or bus. When you first enter the hall, you're greeted by a traditional entrance. You are forced to take off your shoes, but don't worry, they'll give you some slippers and you just wear those slippers throughout the entirety of the ryokan. Check-in is relatively straightforward, although the staff doesn't really have anyone that can speak proper English, so make sure you have Google Translator, but for the most part, basic English works here. Now, before we get to the rest of the ryokan, let's hand it over to the live commentary of the room tour. Welcome to our humble abode. Let me show you a tour. Alright, so this is our little room. By little, I mean it's pretty big. So we've got the standard fridge here, and complimentary, I think it's complimentary beer, right? So, yeah, okay. Little, I guess, just entry room of some sort. Have some extra food. Oh, it's alright, it's a futon. I guess you can sleep here. So we have a little bathroom here. We got toilet in there, and our own private onsen. It is quite warm in here. A little shower, a little bath. You can see the camera's fogging up a bit, but that's really awesome. All right, let's get out of here. Time to clean the lens. All right, so for the rest of the room, we got some seats in the middle. Pretty sizable living room, tatami mats. Is this a humidifier? I'm assuming that's a humidifier, so we'll pump that later. An aircon, I guess some kind of praying area, I'm assuming. We have a safe, so this is one of the other rooms. You can obviously lay tatami mats here, some chairs. I believe this is some robes, so maybe for after showering. So that's nice. Some free water if you need it. You have now a bedroom, so this setup is a 2 normal bedroom as well as 2 futon beds that you can, I guess, put anywhere really. And then a nice view outside. So over there's the entrance. But yeah, what a sick room. It is massive. It is 63 square meters approximately. I may say 63 to 71 square meters, which is huge for Japanese standards. 63 to 71 is huge. But yeah, what a cool room. Definitely much bigger than some of the other cheaper ryokans I've stayed at. Alright, so thanks Richard for the live commentary. So now let's talk about the actual amenities for this ryokan. There's plenty of on-site parking if you are driving, so let's just get that out of the way. Now, from a bathing perspective, it's pretty straightforward. It's split into gender-based bathing, male and female. Now, with the bathing options, there is an indoor bath as well as an open air bath. Now, do check that there are different times for bathing, so just double check, but generally they open pretty late. Additionally, my favorite little thing that this ryokan has is that it actually has free massage chairs. Not many ryokans actually have this, so what's best after soaking yourself and relaxing after a while, even more relaxing time on this massage. Other amenities at this place include a pretty large garden, which probably takes around half an hour just to go around, and it is a pretty cool garden to check out. And honestly, this place is just big, so you can just pretty much go around and explore. However, apart from that, there isn't actually much to do, so I really highly recommend renting your own car and just going outside of ryokan to do some night activities. Because the ryokan itself is amazing, but there's not much to do at the ryokan itself. Now, for dinner, you're giving a traditional Kaiseki menu. There's appetizers, clear soups, sliced raw fishes, some hot pot, rice, as well as some sweet or dessert at the end. It is a very, very packed menu. There's over 20 plus dishes, so definitely savor each one. This is a very high quality meal. It tasted awesome. We've had a lot of Kaiseki, actually Japan, but we actually felt that this one was actually really good as well. And each night it is different if you are staying for a couple of days. Now, I do highly recommend just trying each dish, even if it looks weird. It is a more traditional Japanese meal, so more traditional Japanese foods, as you can see in the snapshots here in the video. So don't expect any too modern type foods like chips and stuff. But either way, I would highly recommend putting this into your actual booking and including the Kaiseki experience. So when we booked, we paid around $1,000 between 4 people. I think a bit more than $1,000, so around $250 per person, which actually is a great price for a ryokan. When I rechecked this price, or I guess this ryokan recently, the price was a lot higher. So we definitely booked a lot earlier in a better time. So definitely book ahead of time to ensure you actually lock in a good rate. My final thoughts of this ryokan is I think it's a really cool ryokan. It is a bit more of a traditional one with less activity to do. I have a video of a more modern ryokan, which I will post up, which has a lot more activities you can do at the ryokan, so you don't have to, venture out. But I think it's still a nice traditional stay, especially if you can bring the family along. And I'll highly recommend definitely booking this ryokan. I give it an 8 out of 10 just because, 2 out of 10 I'm taking off just because there isn't much to do apart from the onsen and food here. But overall, pretty good ryokan to stay at if you have a car, in my opinion at least.